But I got some good news. I was dying because I was getting some nausea, not to vomiting status, but I was being nauseous and I was having pains in my back. And so I thought I had some kind of kidney disease. I really felt that my kidneys were shutting down. I'm low-key, calling people, letting them know, I might be dying. And, I even called my daughter and was like, hey, just in case something happens to me, I just wanted to let you know, the real estate is yours. And, I'm sorry. You thinking I'm a bad father. I love you. Mama, I love you. Yeah, I remember that. So, but I went to the doctor today and they did some tests yesterday. They did a stool sample and they did a urinalysis and a blood test and a glucose. And basically they said my kidneys is fine, everything is normal, my blood sugar is high and my cholesterol is high. But so they're just attributing the pain that I'm having in my back to muscle pain because the kidneys is functioning normally. Thank God. Thank Allahu Akbar. Thanks to the Most High. So it's back to dealing with this back pain. So, but she did say I need to change my diet. Of course, they was trying to put me on the regimen that all doctors always try to do. She wanted to give me some statin for the cholesterol, and then she wanted to do something for the blood sugar. And I was telling her, no, I'm a natural person. I don't like to use drugs. So if you want to give me a diet that you recommend, and she said, okay, well, stay away from the wheat, stay away from the refined sugars, and just eat a plant-based diet and protein. So if you see me with a whole bunch of refined sugars and gluten, smack it out my hand. I give y'all permission to. All right, and then buy me something within my diet. So right now I just came. This is a spot that's near my house. I don't know what it's called. Hold on one second. Let me show y'all that's the name of it right there. It's pretty much just like Panera bread or, super salad. They make the salads right in front of you and the soups, and you can get a smoothie. So this meal that I got right here is about $10. So I got the Greek salad with the lentil soup and some water. So, I always try to eat healthy like this anyway. I don't try to, this is how I obey the doctor's order. There was a picture, and it had a picture of a farm and all of these fruits and vegetables, and then it said pharmacy. Instead of saying, instead of spelling it with a PH, it spelled it with an F, and it said pharmacy. So this is the real pharmacy right here. Let your food be your medicine, as my hoteps say. I try to be a hotep. I'm a hotep at heart. I'm just a modern day hotep. So, back to what I was saying earlier about the Good Samaritan. And, I don't want people to get me the wrong way, because I do value education, but the education that we need has to be tailored specifically to us. That's why I respect the Nation of Islam, the Muslims, because, that's one of the things that they talk about in the nation is building for us specifically. I know a lot of people don't agree with the teachings of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and Malcolm X and Honorable Elijah Muhammad, but I grew up, listening to that. I'm going to blame Charlie for that, my other brother. I'm going to blame you, Charlie, because the first time I actually saw Minister Louis Farrakhan was at your house, and he was talking about menace to society. And, and he kept on saying, okay, yeah, we're menace number 2, but who's menace number 1? And I thought that was real deep when he was talking about that lecture. And of course, my brother Charlie was the one who took me to the Million Man March. So a lot of my black radicalism ideals started with my brother Charlie. He instilled that in me, and then my brother Nick was the one who, was my college professor, I'll say. So if Charlie was high school, then Nick was my college professor. And he was the one that, showed me how to be totally independent and self-sufficient. And as I said, he attributed that to Granddad, because Granddad was the one who taught him how to build and how to reverse engineer things. So my brother, who didn't go to college or only took a couple of classes in college, he knew from growing up and being around Granddad how to reverse engineer things and how to build them back up from scratch. And that's the education that we need, because when you go to college, and I did go to college, as I said, I went to Johnson & Wales University for business entrepreneurship. And my goal was, when I got out of the military, was I wanted to open up a mobile nightclub or a promotion company, like you see where the guys, they rent the nightclubs and have parties there. And I even had a whole company called Dance Entertainment, which was opposite the company that I worked for in Japan, which was called Adoria. Adori is dance, and Ya is store. So it was the dance store or the dance shop. So, and that was a mobile club or a promotion company in Japan that I was a part of. And I was so fascinated by what they was doing in Japan with that, because they catered to the hip hop crowd in Japan, that I wanted to actually do it in the United States. And of course I started doing mobile club promotions. I did have a couple of parties, but with that, you really need to have a secondary source of income, because with parties, they're hit or miss. You could have one party and it be successful, and then the next party only 5 people show up. And if you don't have the money to keep renting the club, or the club owner or the club owner is not allowing you access, free access to his club, then you'll run out of money eventually, and then of course your party will shut down. And then my brother, who saw my idea, he was saying, well, the reason that your party worked in Japan was because you all was catering to the niche of the military, the black military who love hip hop, and the Japanese people who love hip hop. But okay, you're in America now, so you gotta, everybody here is just like you. So you're just another club promoter. What you need to do is reverse engineer it. And we ended up starting a entertainment company, and we called it Tokyo Entertainment, Tokyo Entertainment Association. And we actually was gonna cater to the Asian community and bring, Asian entertainment into Boston during that time. But once again, if you don't have that steady source of income to support your entertainment company, then you're gonna eventually run out of money, because as I said, not every event is going to be a successful event. So you need to have that backup income. And now fast forward, what I'm doing now here in Panama is pretty much, well, what my idea is, I'll say that, is pretty much doing the same thing that I was doing in Japan, catering to the Black Americans or the foundational Black Americans that are here, because there isn't that many venues. I mean, of course, there's plenty of places that we can go to eat, but there is not many places in Panama that has the Black experience. You have, shout out Dietary 23, he was the first one to actually start that, to have an actual physical shop that you can go to. I mean, there's companies like, shout out to Black expat in Panama, Charlotte Van Horn, who does the relocation tours, and she has Welcome Wednesdays and B2B networking events, but she doesn't have an actual physical shop entity that you can go to. You know, she's a promoter, or she's a tour guide. You know, does a travel consultant, in manner of speaking, and she has a successful business, but it's not a physical business. Y'all see that? I'm sorry, that girl. Yeah, I'm sorry. I had to take a pause for the cause. Oh, and she driving too. God damn. Anyway, back to what I was saying. I'll see you again. What am I doing? I'm supposed to be over here focusing on my video. So, Dietary 23, he has his shop and he caters to the Black expats, but there is no other place out here as of yet that caters to Black Americans. So anybody who comes to Panama and sets that up right now will actually make a killing. So that's one of my ideas, is to do that. And then I have some other ideas that's in the work, but I don't want to talk about it. I just shut up and just do the work, and then once it happens, then you all will be the first to see it. Because I get on here and I talk and I step on people's toes, but then when it gets back to people, everybody's saying, well, what is he doing? He ain't doing nothing but talking. He really ain't got no money. He really ain't got no education. So you just ignore him, which is well and good. Y'all can do that if you want, but if y'all know anything about me and who I am, I'm always known to shock you. People are shocked to see that I'm in Panama right now. And it was funny because my brother Nick called me and he said that he went to go see our sister. And of course, me and her ain't on speaking terms. And so, because of my ideology, my ideas, I'm pro-Black, I'm pro getting it out of the mud, being independent and self-sufficient, being away from the systems. And a lot of, my ideas are anti what she's about. She's pro-corporate. She's pretty much, she's pro-system. It's like Jay-Z and Dame Dash. Okay, Jay-Z, he's pro the system because the system is what made Jay-Z a billionaire. They're the ones who are paying him to do what he does. So, when it's you don't bite the hand that feeds you, and I understand that. Me, okay, the system has screwed me so many times that I'm just like, I don't look to the system to feed me. You know what I'm saying? I try to feed myself. There are certain things that the system does help me with, but it's because of the moves that I made where they had no choice but to do that for me, if you understand what I mean. It's not that they want to do it for me, because when it comes to, me and working jobs, they don't want to pay me the highest paying job. They're trying to give me the bare minimum. So I got to go out here and get it myself. That's what I learned. And that's what my brother, one of the things that he taught me when I lost my job, at the call center. When he was out here, he was saying, hey, people will get a house and get a 30-year mortgage, but you're not guaranteed to be gainfully employed for 30 years. You know, there's always gonna be something that happens that's gonna cause you to lose your job, especially if your job is not your business. It's, you know, some other corporate entity, white, Asian, you know, it's not you. If it's not you or your people and not your family, then hey, you will learn that you need to have other streams of income coming in, another job source. Do not solely depend on that. And see, that's was instilled in me at a young age. Even when I was coming into manhood, that was the one thing that was instilled in me. Do not rely on these people to take care of you, because there's gonna come a time when you're gonna be looking for these people to take care of you, and you're gonna need these people to take care of you, and they're not going to be there. And if you're not ready for that, you don't have no savings, you don't have no other way of making money, you don't have no skills, you are going to be SOL. And I've been SOL many times during my lifetime. So because I've been burned and I've learned how not to rely on that system, whether it be the system, the universities, the corporate, all of that. So that's what I speak on to you all. I'm just speaking my truth. You know, I'm speaking from my point of view. Some people, they're different. The system has worked for them, just like Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying? The system has worked for Jay-Z. You see what's going on with Jay-Z now, though, where, you know, this lady's trying to sue him, you know, on some bogus charges. And the same thing with Drake. You know what I'm saying? Hey, the system worked for Drake. You know, when he's been doing this thing and been, you know, making money for 15 years. But then, what's going on now with Drake? The system is turning on him. The same system that was supporting him and doing for him and hurting other people to put him on top is now being used against him. And they're putting somebody else on top in his place. Why? Because they're saying Drake is getting too greedy. You know, he wants more money. He's like, yo, I've been the man for 15 years. You done made billions off of me. Well, guess what? The system's like, yeah, so what? Drake or Aubrey, you know, we can take that away from you in a drop of an eye. Matter of fact, watch this. They're not like us. They're not like us. And now look at Drake go do a concert and everybody's yelling that they're not like us and they're booing him, and now he's, you know, feeling some kind of way about that. But was Drake feeling some kind of way when that was going on with Meek Mills? When, you know, when they was playing back to back for Meek Mills? No, you know, he was loving it. But now, you know, the new back to back is they're not like us. They're not like us. Now he's like, oh, you know, and everybody's saying that he's a sore loser. But the reality of it all is you are relying on a system that is not yours. You need to be like Kanye, and, you know, because as you can see, Kanye got burnt too, and he learned, and he's like, you know something? I got what I was able to get out of the system, so I'm going to just go out here and do it on my own. I'm going to do it independently. I'm going to become self-sufficient. And that's all I'm saying. We do have a system, okay? Just like the doctors in the office was trying to put me on their system, which was drugs. And I said, no, I'm not going to use your drugs, doc. Sorry, you know. I understand that they're cheaper here. You know, I would have been able to get my medications for about $50, you know, $45. But it's still medication nonetheless. I don't want your medication. So I came and got God's medication. You see what I'm saying? This is the pharmacy that I'm dealing with right here. You feel me? I'm dealing with the salad, enchilada, and the lentils, and the beans, and the soups, and herbs. That's the system that I'm dealing with. And when it comes to, you know, going out here and getting money and making money, I'm telling you, okay, well, do what your great-grandparents did and your grandparents did. Get it out of the mud. You know, that's how my grandfather bought the land. He grew his own food in his backyard, and he built his 2-bedroom shack with his bare hands. But at the same time, you know, it's good to have the education, but the education needs to be able to benefit you and your family. You know, we go to these universities of higher learning to get an education, but the education is to actually put you in a corporate setting to keep building on what the foundation that they built. They've just made you a high-paid slave again, or a high-paid sharecropper. And when I say this stuff, you know, people, they don't like it. Even though it's true, they just hate that I say it. Okay, and then they try to turn around and, you know, look at me and look at my character and say, okay, well, yeah, all right, well, what are you doing? We don't see you with a lot of money. We don't see you doing anything. Well, the reason is because it's me and God, you know what I'm saying? By myself, that's why. But at the same time, too, what I am doing is not relying on you to help me. You know, there's many times where I've been in a bad situation, okay, and I've looked to people who are supposed to be well off, and of course, they're like, they just separated themselves. So I don't depend on you, and I don't depend on the system that you're depending on in order to help me. I look to God, and God helps me. You know, I wake up one day and I get the good news. As you know, one of the scriptures say, you know, I help the birds and the bees and the flowers and the least of things. That was the term. So if I help the least of things eat in this world, you don't think I'm not going to help you? So that's the scripture that gets me through. I know that God got my back as long as I stay obedient to his system. Okay? And then I get on here and I talk about his system indirectly, because you know some people aren't gonna get it if I was over here just talking scripture and God this and you know the universe that and you know, no. But it's all still the same. I'm just saying, hey, you know, come out of her, my children. I'm just saying it in a different way. You know what I'm saying? Because we all know, okay, if you're dealing with this system, this infrastructure, all you're doing is helping someone else and you're not helping yourself, and you're not helping your family, and you're not helping your people. You know, we still have land in our family that is just sitting there, just crumbling, just like the infrastructure of America, just sitting there crumbling. And we have educated people with money in our family, and ain't nobody thought about that 2 acres of land in that one traffic-like town that our great-grandparents got on their own. We got houses in our family that our family got for cheap in New York and Chicago, and we're barely paying the taxes on it. Nobody knows how to, you know, redo the electricity. They got knob and tube wiring still in the walls, you know. And if they was to sell it right now, they couldn't even sell it for $1 million because nothing has been updated. It's still what your great grandparents put there. But we're supposed to be so more educated than the people who created that for us. And as I said, and you know, this is where we're coming from. Lessons from the Unlearned Part 2. We need to, as a family, as a people, capitalize on what our family, the foundation that our family set for us. If we have land that our great-grandparents left for us, then we need to be going and developing that land. That's what these white folks do. That's what these Asians do and Indians do. These Spanish people do. That's what they do. They got, land, and all they do is they build the house on it, and then they update the house, and then they put additions on it, and everybody lives there for free, and then people go and get their education, and then they come back, and then they build on it, and eventually it turns into something, that the whole family can, enjoy. No, what we do is we leave, go to school, get the education, and then get a job, and then when the grandparents is over there by themselves looking for the help from you, if one day we'll send a couple of dollars, but that's it. And of course, family, the grandparents say, all right, well, shoot, he's over there living his life, that's okay, They just got to be proud of the fact that you was able to get the education in order to, have a better life. They got to be proud of that. And, instead of saying, oh, damn, I raised my child, I raised my grandchildren, and I'm sitting here by myself in bad health. I done built this, and nobody wants to come and help develop what I put forth. And then they end up, so they just say, okay, well, God got me. Just like what I'm saying right now. God got me. And eventually, okay, they leave, their land is still there because they done did the right thing. There was no mortgage on it. And even if there's no mortgage on it and no taxes on it or anything, you still don't know how to maintain or improve upon it, because the education that we have received didn't teach us how to do that. And that's what it is. But when I bring that up, people just, they want to have a debate and refute that, which is understandable. I understand. But I'm not here to debate it. I'm just reporting what I've seen in my life. Okay, I'm a victim of it. My parents are a victim of it. My child is a victim of it. We get our education from our open enemy. Okay, you all didn't want Trump in office, but guess what? Trump's parents and their, what's the word I'm looking for? Prescott Trump and Rockefellers and all of them people, they're the ones who created the educational system in the schools that we go to get our education. So do you think the Rockefellers' education system that he paid all of this money to help develop is there for us? No, that's there to make people permanent employees, not bosses. Everybody's talking about being a boss now, which is, hey, great. It's great to talk about it, but can we actually be about it? Be independent. Learn how to develop. Be a developer. Be a producer. These are the things that we haven't been taught to do. We have been taught to be retail consumers. So I see that, I recognize that, and I'm doing something in order to change that. But of course, change starts with the man in the mirror, as Michael Jackson said. So I'm starting with the man in the mirror, but at the same time as I'm talking about it, at the same time while I am changing, I am talking about it and letting people know, hey, we all need to be doing that. We all need to be learning how to produce. I'm speaking specifically to my people, the learned and the unlearned, because you don't need to be learned in order to be able to be a boss. Most bosses are the unlearned, because we know why it needs to be done. And as they say, the people who know why, how's it go? The people who know how to learn it work for the people who know why. So if you know why, then you'll be able to create something and get the people who know how to do it to work for you. If you got a house and you want your house to be improved, guess what? And you don't know how, but you know why you want your house improved, what do? You go hire a contractor. And the contractor knows how to fix knows how to do tiling, knows how to install a toilet, knows how to do construction, to build an addition. So he's working for you. You done hired him. You done gave him a job. That's how it goes. And you don't gotta have the most education. You just need to know how not to get stiffed. How to get, taken advantage of. That's what being a boss is about, knowing why this is important, and then figuring out how to get it done, whether it be by you, your own hands, or by somebody else's hands. But it definitely needs to be done. Our grant, as I said, the economy is crumbling, and we do have an infrastructure. I'm sure I know I got property in my family's name that's sitting there and nobody's thinking about it. But if we was to put our resources together, we would be able to develop that and make it something that all of the family would be able to eat off of, on both sides, my mother's side and my father's side. And I'm sure if that's true for me, I know it's true for you all, who's looking at this. And then the same thing here overseas. It's an opportunity for us to be overseas and doing the same thing. There's plenty of land here that is cheap, that you can buy for short money and develop, and be able to live comfortably. You don't gotta, be spending this exorbitant amount of money to be living in these other people's high rises. We can all put our money together and develop our own high rise if that's what you want to live in, or develop our own community. So that's what I'm always talking about, and I'll keep talking about it until I see some traction that is getting done, because that's what my dream is. That's really what I wanted to get to, the real moral of the story. That's why I came back on here, because that's where I was getting at, was we all need to, since it is 2025 coming, we got the resources, we got the knowledge, we have the people. All we need to do now is just come together, and execute. And if you don't, well, fine. God got me. I'm going back to what my grandpappy was talking about. Hey, if you ain't gonna help me, well, God's gonna help me. And one day you'll wake up and you'll see the same thing that my great-grandparent had. A 2-bedroom shack sitting on some land. If that's all that I can do, well, hey, I did it. And hopefully my children and my grandchildren will be smarter than my aunts, uncles, brothers, cousins, and be able to capitalize on what I put forth, instead of, doing their own thing, because that's what everybody's doing. Everybody's just too busy doing their own thing, and a lot of their own thing really isn't the right thing. It's just being a consumer. So that's it. I'm about to sit here and eat my food. I've been rambling on for a minute on 2 videos, but that's all I was trying to get out was, hey, I done told you all about, retirement, working till 65, and then all you getting is, your Social Security, which is going to be about $2,000 or $3,000 a month. And your 401k, which is probably going to be another $2,000-$3,000 a month. So you got all these people walking around here retired on $6,000 a month. Or you could be a boss and create businesses and create real estate, and have rental property, and the rental property is paying you $6,000 a month. and paying your children $6,000 a month and paying your grandchildren $6,000 a month. See, your retirement doesn't do that. When you die, it dies with you. So which one is better? The real estate that you can have intergenerational wealth and everybody can benefit off of it, and we won't have to press the reset button. We can just keep building on top of what each other has done, or keep working for the man until you retire, get your $6,000 a month, and just spend it with the man until you die. And we just press the reset button. The choice is yours. Those are the two choices. We either work together and we build on what we have put forth, or we go work for him and he builds on what we put forth, and we die and press the reset button. We can do it it doesn't matter where we're at. In the United States, it's the same thing, or overseas. Because even when we come overseas, the same people who built the high rises and developed the land in America are usually the people who developed the land overseas. You see Marriott's name and Hilton's name and what's his name? Tesla, Elon Musk, and Chiquita, and Dole, and all of these. Trump is even in India heavy. You know what I'm saying? You see all of these people's names all over the world. Okay, they're not just in America. And guess what? We are happy. We as black folks is happy when we see a Pizza Hut in China, Burger King in Japan, Hilton in Panama, or a Hooters in Colombia. We're happy when we see these things, and we'll happily go in there and give them our money. But don't we have a Sylvia's in New York? Where's Sylvia's at in Colombia? You know, the turkey leg hut. That was in Houston. Why can't we have a turkey leg hut in Panama? Why can't we have a slutty vegan in Dominican Republic? That would go good in Sosua, right? Have a slutty vegan in the middle of Sosua. Why can't we have that? Those are our restaurants. You know, who's the lady, Bob Johnson's daughter, who has the resort in Destin, Florida? Why can't she have one here in Panama? Why can't she develop the land and we all go to that? The salamander. Why can't we have a salamander in Thailand, in Japan? You know, why is it only got to be in America? We can be the same as them. We can do it. We just got to put our minds together, put our resources together, and start building on it. And that's where I'm getting at. I do have a group on Facebook and on WhatsApp called Black Expat Building. So, you know, put that in the search engine, and I hope you all join it. I'll put it in the comments, both the WhatsApp group and the Facebook group, because I do want people who are like-minded, who are like me, who want to build. Okay, and you know, we can sit and talk and break bread. Even if you want to come to Panama, you know what I'm saying? I got a room here. Y'all can come, and you know, I can show you around, and we can get some things going. Because I'm not doing nothing but that. That's what my plan is. When I wake up in the morning, I ain't out here chasing skirts. I didn't chase skirts for the past year. I mean, I only chased one skirt, to be honest with you. But I know where to go chase some skirts at. I just don't partake in it like that. You know what I'm saying? I'll bring the people who are here. I mean, who come to visit. You know, who ain't never been there, and that's what they're about. If that's what you about, I'll bring you to the Chica bars. I know where they at. I've been there, done that. I'm over it. Now I'm about, making more money. So my daughter won't have it as hard as I did. Because that's what happened with my mother. My mother had a house. She passed away when I was 10 years old. Her house that she left to me has made it less hard for me. There's been less of a burden. And I'm doing that for my daughter. When I pass away, my daughter will have it less hard for her. Because I'm capitalizing on what my mother gave or what my mother put forth. And I hope my daughter does the same thing. I hope she looks at this and learns, okay, he put this together. All I gotta do is just maintain it and improve it. And then she tells her children the same thing. And that's all. It's gotten easier. It ain't like, you gotta be out here hammering nails into wood. Shoot, they got a nail gun now. We got technology, so it makes it a whole lot easier to be able to develop land. We got heavy equipment. They didn't have hydraulic equipment back then. You had a horse and buggy and a plow, and they were still building stuff. So if you can do it with the technology and the AI and all of that we got right now, it should be very easy to be able to do this here in the United States and also overseas, here and abroad. That's why these Mexicans and foreigners come to America, because they come in with the skills. And they know with the skills, they can go anywhere in the world and be able to do what they do and be able to make a living. We can do the same thing. We got education, we got knowledge, we got technology, and we got the American dollar. So let's do it. All right, y'all. I've been rambling. I don't know how long, but y'all been listening. Thanks for watching. I'm about to eat this food and get on my way. Peace.